Moderation. It is the obsession of every true alcoholic. Can I drink again? Can I have just one? Maybe if I have them just on Friday nights when I go out, I'll be okay. Maybe I'm not going to get drunk tonight. Yeah, no, I promise I'm not going to get drunk tonight. Actually, you know what? I'm only going to drink after work, not at lunch. I'm not messing around anymore. I can moderate this. It is not a problem. I don't have a drinking problem. I have a scheduling problem. All I need to do is schedule properly and really plan how I'm going to, maybe I'll take a friend. Maybe I'll go out there to the bar and Terry will come with me and make sure I only have two. Maybe that will work. So today, ladies and gentlemen, we are talking about how to drink alcohol in moderation. Is it possible? Do you need to quit completely to be sober? Do you need to quit completely? If you swear up and down, maybe you're not an alcoholic. Today, that's what we're talking about. Terry, how you doing, and what is your journey with moderating alcohol? And what do you think for those people who think maybe they can?
Well, good morning, Marcus. I'm doing very well. And I don't have to moderate my drinking because I just don't drink at all. But as far as moderating goes, I tried to moderate. You could say I did moderate as far as what I thought I was doing. I thought I was moderating my drinking for many, many years. But it's interesting if you look at what the professionals say. Moderate drinking for a man is 1 to 2 drinks a day. For a woman, that's 1 drink a day. Now, did I ever drink that little? Maybe many, many decades ago I drank that little, but through most of my drinking career, moderate drinking for me was like, I don't know, 6, 8 drinks a day, something like that. That was kind of moderate. That was drinking hardly any for me, actually. But it's, it really depends on who you are, how much you've been drinking, and what's going on in your life as far as whether you can drink moderately or not. I think most of us that have alcohol use disorder have tried the moderate drinking. We've tried it many ways. Marcus just described a whole bunch of different methods that we tell ourselves. I actually got to the point where I was counting shots or drinks, whatever you want to call it. And yeah, I'm only going to have this many. And then I'd end up having that many before 2 o'clock in the afternoon, stuff like that. And then I'd keep going. Um, Sometimes I would not drink myself into oblivion. Did I call that moderate drinking? Well, in my alcoholic state, yeah, I did. I didn't drink until I passed out. Oh, that was a good day. It was a constant struggle for me. And really, there are methods of moderate drinking, and I'll talk a little bit about them. One of them is called moderation management, and what this program kind of does is it tells you that first you need to become abstinent for 30 days. You need to get alcohol out of your system, all of that. No alcohol whatsoever. And then afterwards, after that 30 days, then during that 30 days, you need to learn to identify triggers that might make you drink and adopt some healthy like behaviors, like getting some exercise and doing some things that have nothing to do with alcohol, getting that into your life, manage and things that you can do to manage your future, moderate drinking. And for those that have a problem with drinking, this can be really, really difficult to do, especially when, maybe you can go 30 days. I think Marcus did in his drinking career. He'd go for a few weeks without drinking, but then he'd be right back to where he was. And that was difficult. Me, I was never able to go very long at all. So I can't tell you that I went for weeks without drinking. I was kind of a continuous one. But, it's tough. You have to be mindful of your drinking habits. And you have to be mindful of what you're going to do. Like Marcus was saying, maybe I'll just drink only after work or only on weekends, things like that. That's the kind of thoughts that we have as alcoholics, that we're going to try and do this. That's what we try to do to moderate, to to not drink too much. And how many times have we failed? I failed every time, really. And I continued to fail when I continued to want to moderate. I put on my thumbnail, I love drinking until, and I did. I loved drinking until the very last day that I drank. I loved the feeling that it gave me. I did not love the consequences. And now I had some pretty big consequences, but not all of us have these consequences. Some of the consequences could be just as simple as, just not feeling good, feeling like alcohol is kind of controlling our lives, and that was the feeling that I had most of the time. Just and also some bigger consequences, but that was a feeling that I had a lot, and it was tough to work through it. I could never moderate. And now this is the difficult part of thinking that you can moderate your drinking. If some of you on here are still drinking and you're thinking that, yeah, I can moderate and I can slow down and I'll be able to drink controlled, and maybe you can. It really depends where you are on that alcoholic scale. If for me, I had developed alcoholism. My body, my mind, I had this compulsive behavior. I was obsessed with alcohol. It's what was ruling my life. Now, maybe you're not that far along, maybe you're less, uh, but you continue to drink. Now, do you have any of these negative consequences? I mean, if you're still drinking and you're still getting some negative consequences, maybe it's time to think about stopping rather than moderating. I always thought that, oh, okay, I can moderate and my problems will become less. That didn't happen with me. And that's what I see with many people is they try to moderate, their consequences don't get minimized. They continue to have problems, and they generally go back to how much they were drinking before, which was in excess. And it's tough. It's a difficult thing. It's hard to work through this stuff because there is no fine line between being an alcoholic and being just a heavy drinker, I guess. There's no fine line. We don't know. And other people can tell you that you're an alcoholic, other people, and some people can say that it's not a problem for you, but really it's you that has to make the decision. There's a couple programs that use some medicines that can help get rid of the urge to drink, and many people have had success with this. And yeah, you guys can look it up. You'll find out the names of the program and the medicines that they use. Now, the thing is, and if you research this, they're going to tell you it's like a 70-80% success rate. Okay, all these places, they talk about success rates. If you look at rehab facilities, they'll talk about we have a 93% success rate and things like that. Well, these percentages that they talk about, you really got to look at it, and it's hard to find out. Now, is this program that talks about their success rate, did they do the study on their success rate? I mean, I'll tell you one thing, if the times I started drinking and people knew that I was trying to stop, I didn't tell them. I didn't tell them I stopped drinking. So how can these success rates be accurate? I don't know. Maybe they are, maybe they aren't, but it's something that you really need to look at. For me, I had to stop drinking. And now even after I stopped drinking, I would look back on the feeling that alcohol gave me. And I loved the feeling. And that was one of the challenges in my sober journey. And it's not anymore because I've learned to really enjoy life. The alcohol's not an issue in my life anymore. I don't drink, and I don't look at it as a evil thing for me, or for anyone else is what I should say. It's a bad thing for me, but it's just neither here nor there. I don't mind if other people drink in front of me, things like that. It's okay. Some people can drink alcohol and maybe it helps them relax or whatever. I personally see no benefits whatsoever with alcohol. It doesn't help me at all. And in fact, not drinking has made me a much more productive person. It's made me a better person to be around. It's made me a better person all around. And it's not drinking is great for me. And for a lot of people that are struggling, I really personally think that just stopping is the way to do it. Now, if you're not that heavy of a drinker and alcohol isn't a problem, maybe you can moderate if you're heavy drinking. But really, the best thing to do is to stop for a while, whether it's a month, whether it's a year, stop. See if you're thinking about it. Think about it. I have a friend that they're sober, I think, getting close to 20 years now. But they had an 11-year period before that where they stopped drinking, and then they ended up starting again, and then they stopped, and they've been stopped for 20 years now. Now that 11 years, she's talking about how she thought about drinking the entire time. It was always in her mind. And if that's something that you're thinking about when you quit, then maybe it's something that, quitting, it might be something that you might need to consider, definitely. So, Marcus, you had tried to moderate as well, right? And how successful were you?
Yeah, so there's someone in the comments talking about, and I'm getting a little echo too, um, talking about kudzu and vitamins for alcohol craving. The echo's getting worse. Wait, is it better? It's better now. He's talking about kudzu and alcohol cravings. I remember my obsession when I drank was if I could just not want to drink, then life would be great. Or if I could moderate, then life would be great. And I was obsessed with these two things. And I tried kudzu, not knocking it. It just didn't do anything for me. I think kudzu is that stuff that grows on the bark of trees in the South, I believe. It's not very good tasting, so it makes you crave something, not kudzu. I don't think there's any proven properties of that. And I found that was a dead end. Trying to force myself to not want to drink was like taking a flower waterer to a house fire. I was like, okay, we'll just put out this little dandelion. We'll be okay. And I found that it didn't help because the bigger problem was why I wanted to drink in the first place. That was the big one. Why am I an alcoholic? Well, I'm chemically dependent. And if I'm putting more chemicals to try to fix chemical dependency, I mean, I'm not a doctor. I don't really know how that works. I know how chemical dependency works. And I know that chemical dependency needs to be fought by getting rid of a chemical, not necessarily adding more. Now, again, there's medical advancements, there's AI, there's all kinds of science. I don't know about that, but I'm glad I went the route I went. Even though it was hard and it was difficult and I had to learn things, it made me create a life I didn't have to run from. It inadvertently changed my thoughts about alcohol, and I don't want to drink anymore at all. Once in a while, I will get a fleeting thought of, hey, maybe I want to drink. Now, I got to tell you, this didn't happen right away. It took a long time. The first year, all I wanted to do was drink. Like, that's it. Let's be honest. I wanted to go drink. That's what I wanted to do. But I had to learn slowly and steadily why I wanted to drink. Why did I want to drink? Well, it was a solution to problems, and there was chemical dependency on top of it. So I wanted to drink. No amount of anything I tried to do would help. I did therapy, did multiple therapies. I went to counseling. I went to recovery meetings, went to all kinds of stuff. Nothing worked. Friends and family, hey, moderate my drink, help me quit. Didn't work. Nothing worked. The only thing that ended up working was going to the doctor because I didn't realize how bad chemical dependency was. I thought it was cute. I was even talking to my stepmom on Mother's Day, and she was talking about how they would laugh, not so much laugh, but kind of like be baffled at how much I held my liquor. Like I'm sitting there drinking as much as everyone at the table combined, and I'm the least drunk. And I thought it was, I'm tough. I'm got my bearings, my sea legs of alcoholism. And really I was a drunk. And if I went to the doctor, he probably would have said, you need to quit drinking or something bad is going to happen in your body. because the amount I was drinking, even though I wanted to moderate. And let's get real. I remember years ago, I went to a lunch with a friend of mine, and we were Calvinist religion people, which the Calvinist religion, not religion, but the group that follows Calvinism was very good on ales. They like drinking ales. So I would go with my pastor buddy to have ales and lunch, and we'd discuss topics of the day and religion and things like that. And I miss those days. They were fun, with the exception of drinking. And I remember after we had one of our meetings and I wasn't drinking, and he was like, I never knew you were an alcoholic. And I was like, Dan, you couldn't tell that I had a 9 or 10 before I got to lunch? He's like, nope, I wouldn't have known at all. Never would have guessed it. I thought you were on your first one. And again, that shows alcoholism. And I had a problem that I needed to solve beyond trying to moderate. If you're trying to moderate, again, you're taking an eyedropper to a forest fire. It's not going to work. Moderation does not work once we have crossed into chemical dependency, because you're not fighting moderation. That's not what you're fighting. You're fighting your body feeling like alcohol is what it needs to survive. Good luck. Like, you telling me when you're really, really, really hungry, you're at the top of your game? No, you're not. When I'm really hungry, I'm basically useless for the day because I can't function, because my brain has been changed chemically, and all I could think about is I need to eat and I'm hungry. And all I think about is things to eat because I'm hungry. Alcohol is the same way. Only, for us, I don't know if it was the same for you, Terry, but for me, if I had the choice between food for 5 days and alcohol for 5 days, I would have chose alcohol, hands down. Not even a question. Food, sure. I mean, me and Terry, we're foodies. Dude is like a chef of, fantastic caliber, and I love food. I pretend I know how to cook. And we love food, but we loved alcohol more.
Yeah.
Way more. And I starved myself sometimes because I grew up with an eating disorder, and I starved myself because I wanted alcohol. And to sit there and say that I can moderate it's almost silly, because it's like I'm fighting the wrong battle. It's like, okay, there's 10 guys coming at me. The first one is like smaller than me. Yeah, I could take that guy. Yeah, but what about the 9 behind him? You can't take them. You can't take this. They're behind there. You might moderate for 1 day, 2 days, a week, maybe 3 weeks like I did, and you have the illusion of control. But that's all it is an illusion, because you'll be right back where you started, because you're not fighting the desire to moderate. You're fighting chemical dependency. And, I used to look at people. I remember when I used to be very religious, and I used to be a preacher, and we would preach in the inner cities and everywhere, right? And there was this guy. He was about 63 years old, maybe 67, and we would always pick him up from the gutter. Like, literally, he was laying in the gutter with one shoe on, probably banged his head, needed to go to the hospital. He was homeless, and he had a very bad story, like a story that, if that happened to me, I can't say that I wouldn't be in the gutter looking for a bottle of booze. It's a very difficult story. And he always went back, and I remember looking at people like that back then and thinking I would never get that way. And nothing will ever get me that bad. I mean, I've got a button shirt, got a career, I'm an upstanding guy. I'm not going to be in the gutter. Keep drinking, and I would have been in the gutter. It's a fact, because it hijacks everything you think is important to you, everything you think is dear. And you think the problem is moderate. Did that guy need to moderate? Like, he was an expert moderator. He had to moderate every time someone wouldn't give him money for booze. So he was a pro moderator. But he was also a drunk, an alcoholic, and, my heart goes out to the guy if he's still around today. I don't know, he was 67 back then, so he'd be pushing 90 today. And we think about it, and it's like, I'll never get that bad. Nah, come on. What are you talking about? I did. Alcohol brought me to the depths of things I never thought I would become. Right? I pride myself on working. Alcohol made me lazy and stupid, made me not think straight, made me not a great parent. I wanted to be a great parent. Everyone says I was pretty good for an alcoholic. Luckily, I got that going, but that's just by luck of the draw, because alcohol will take you to places that you don't want to go. And if you keep trying to moderate, you probably moderate yourself into maybe what I went through or what Terry went through, or my friend who we picked up out of the gutter and had to get him a hotel every once in a while so he could get cleaned up, because that's all you care about is alcohol.
It's interesting how you go through the thought process, because that was my thought process as well. As like alcohol made me think about all the things that I'm gonna do, that I'm going to be successful at, all the stuff I can do, all these possibilities. But did I ever act on them? No, alcohol also made it so that I wouldn't act on these thoughts. I'd drink instead. And what the thought was always was, okay, if I drink a little less, I'll be able to go do this. Or I'll just sober up for this day, and then I can go concentrate on this and become successful at that. And that was how the process would go for me. And it never worked. I just would go back to the bottle. And as my chemical dependency progressed, it just became more and more, and I'd just give up. And I'd do what many have called I'd just lower the bar. Okay, I'll just do this. And eventually it was, okay, I'm not going to work anymore. I'm not going to have any relationships anymore. I'm going to just try and not get into trouble with the law. Things like that, you just lower the bar and lower the bar. But, I did want to say congratulations. You're one day away, David, but congratulations on 6 months. That is awesome to hear, and it's good to see you every week on our YouTube Live here. That's great. Good job. But that's it. Yeah, it's amazing the thought process we have when we're in active chemical dependency, and afterwards as well. We get these thoughts going through our minds, and believe me, after I got sober, I would think about drinking in moderation as well. Can I go back and maybe drink in moderation? I think a lot of people, that's how a lot of people end up relapsing, is they think they're going to have that one. They may not know what real moderation is, that 1 to 2 drinks for a man and 1 drink for a woman per day is moderating, but maybe they're going to think, yeah, I'm going to go to this party, I'm going to have one. And most people that relapse are successful at that. And they might be successful at moderating for a while, couple weeks, couple months, maybe even a couple years. But anybody that's chemically dependent that I know, that I've talked to, that did quit and then try to moderately drink, they were not successful in continuing their moderate drinking. It's something that they just couldn't do because of that chemical dependency. They call it the sleeping tiger. The tiger's asleep inside us when we quit, and it's just waiting to wake up. Other people will say it's the disease that's doing push-ups out in the parking lot, waiting for us to have that one drink, and then it just becomes stronger. And when we do finally take that drink, and it's something that it doesn't matter what kind of willpower you have. If you give in to that drink and trying to moderate, for someone who's chemically dependent, you're going to start back up. For me, it was starting right where I left off, if not more drinking than where I left off. And we talk a lot about that in our online recovery class. It's over at talksober.com, and you can join that, and we can help you figure out the mind challenges that we have and develop that new mindset, for a sober mindset, to stop drinking. And you can go over there right now and click on that yellow button. It says join our online recovery class. And you can also get a private call with Marcus and myself and we can talk about your sober journey and what challenges you might have and how we might be able to help you move forward in your sobriety. And you go over to that membership page and put in your information there. And it's a monthly charge, and we can help you with your sober journey. So go on over there. And yeah.
All right, cool deal. Check out talksober.com. And yeah, if you guys got any topic ideas or things you want us to cover, let me know. I am thinking, Terry, let me know what you think. What about, this could be an interesting one to get your take and my take. What to do when your kids start drinking as an alcoholic? That's something, my kids are both 21 now, and well, 21 and 22. So it's an interesting thing. If you guys want to hear about that, let us know in the comments and in the chat box. I think it could be a good one for people because I have found that it's interesting. It's a little difficult, and it is interesting. So we can cover that topic if you guys want. Let us know, and we will see you next time. But check out talksober.com. That supports the show, keeps us on the air. Again, our longtime goal is to have Terry take a more big part in this, and that does help. In addition, it gives you good stuff to help you get sober, but that's something we definitely want to build up for you guys. So thanks for being here. Check out talksober.com if you want to support the channel and get all kinds of cool sobriety stuff, and we'll see you next time.